Welcome to episode 256 of the Reptile Gumbo podcast. It's another April one-on-one episode, but it's currently one-on-one because kids suck and Katie had to run our kids somewhere. She'll be back in a minute. And Robert's, it was almost a one on none because Robert's computer almost bit the dust.
It's like hanging on by a thread, and I need it to last at least another month.
Well, my other computer will only go, it goes to a Windows screen where it's like, you can continue on to Windows, or you can do this and this. And when you hit that, it just sends you back to that screen and says, you can continue on to Windows. And I can't figure out how to get in. And it's got all of my updated 3D print files on that computer.
Oh, shit.
So I currently have, huh?
That's not your new one, is it?
Yeah, it's the brand new one.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I currently have my mom's computer that I got, which we'll get into in a second. And then, and my old computer that I was using, which has a lot of 3D stuff on it, but it doesn't have all like my resized like minis files and all. So I'm going to have to like.
Oh, you don't, you need to get an external hard drive.
I have one and I just didn't fucking save it to it.
Nothing of my 3D printed stuff, nothing of my CAD files, none of that is on a computer.
Yeah, I'm a dumb.
And then that 3D hard drive is backed up to the cloud too, because if that thing takes a shit, I still have access to my stuff.
The good thing is a lot of the stuff I can do is I can go into the app for my printer and just reprint stuff as long as it was within the last couple months or whatever. So that's good. Kyle, thank you for the well wishes. So I do want to get into. I checked with my mom to make sure she was okay if I talked about this, but I do want to get into where I have been the last 2 weeks, and what has gone on the last 2 weeks. It has been it's been a lot. It's been a lot the last couple weeks. So I apologize for anybody, but I finally got the two last podcast out like a week ago. I dropped the ball on those and then stuff happened, but they're out. So what happened was my mom and my dad both ride motorcycles. My mom rode a Can-Am with the Spider or whatever, the Spider.
Yeah, something like that. Two wheels in the front.
2 wheels in the front, one in the back. And so apparently they were out for a ride. I got a call from my dad. This would have been, I don't know, dates don't remember. It was a Thursday, some 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyways, that my mom had been in an accident and that it was pretty bad. And like life flighted and bad. So I guess I will explain how bad it was, because where we're at now seems more amazing when you realize where we were at when it happened.
Yeah.
My mom was on a Can-Am. And apparently, and we don't know how it happened for sure. We don't know. And she obviously doesn't remember, but she hit an F-350 pulling a camper head on.
So I haven't asked you this. She doesn't remember it. She
remembered the truck and the camper because when she woke up and we talked to her the first time and said that she had a crash, she said, was it a truck pulling a camper? So she remembered that, but she doesn't remember why. So anyways, she hit him. My dad was in front. He heard it. He turned around and he told me, he said he parked his bike, calmly took off his helmet and his gloves and set it down next to the bike. And the reason for that was he was afraid to walk up to my mom's body because he assumed he was walking up to a corpse. And so he was kind of trying to take his time from getting there. On the way to her body, he heard her moaning in pain, which was probably the best noise he's ever heard in his entire life. And so she was alive. He sat there with her. She had a compound fracture in her left humerus, so bone sticking out of the arm there. I'll get into all the other injuries later, but that was the obvious one he saw. He sat with her until the EMTs got there. EMTs got there, and they took care of her, and then they had to drive her off to a landing zone to meet the life flight to take them from North Alabama, take her from North Alabama to hospital. And I'll get into her injuries in a second. I'll tell you what happened with my dad there, because it was a weird situation. He stood next to a cop car for a second to try to collect himself while they were doing all that, and then turned around. The ambulance was gone. He had no idea where they were taking her, what hospital. All he had heard was landing zone, so he knew there was a chopper involved at some point. And the cops, he said the cops kind of just didn't really guide him with anything. Like at some point he just turned around and no one was talking to him, and the cops were off doing stuff, and he just left. And he ended up calling and finding out, get a hold of the chopper service, and he was able to track where she went to. She ended up going to Chattanooga, Tennessee. The overall injuries are probably amazing considering she was on a bike hitting and hit an F-350.
Yeah.
Left arm, she compound fracture in the humerus, broke both radius and ulna in the forearm, and shattered the elbow. Didn't break the hand, didn't break a collarbone. That was it in the left arm. Left leg, which is a trickier one, but left leg, the only thing she had, I don't know about bones but she had severed a vein in the left leg, which could have been fixed. We'll get to the whole issue there. She had severed that. Right arm, forearm, she broke the wrist, fractured or broke up the wrist, and so that's got plates there now. No head damage, no internal damage. The only thing internally was she did break her pelvis pretty bad, like cracked open the front of the pelvis and broke it in several places. And so that happened. So because of that, from what we can kind of figure out, when the EMTs had to basically wrench her pelvis together, what we're guessing is at that point they pinched her bladder between the pelvis, which put a hole in the bladder. The problem with that is that then caused that to leak into her leg. And because the vein was not carrying away blood from the leg, because it had a ruptured vein, it built up toxins in the leg, and it ended up killing the muscle in her leg. And they ended up having to take probably about 97% of her left leg. It didn't go all the way to the hip. There's a very small part of the femur there, but they did have to take her leg because of that. Not really because of the accident, but because of something happened afterwards. But it doesn't matter. She's alive. It is what it is. But that's it. That's the extent of the injuries was it.
Oh, is that all?
That was it. Her head, perfectly fine. Had a great helmet. If you ride a bike or if you know someone that rides a bike, tell them to spend the money and buy a fucking helmet.
A good helmet. A
very good helmet. I can't. I'm a huge proponent of that now. It's buy a helmet. Canal side. The reason I've been gone the last 2 weeks, I'm explaining my mom was in a bad motorcycle accident, which is funny. I've told everybody my mom's in a bad motorcycle accident, and their first thought was, was your dad in the accident also? Because they assumed she was on the motorcycle with him, but she was on her own motorcycle. So apparently that happened on Thursday. Friday was when they had to decide to take the leg, and that was a very harsh time. That was like I could have lost my mom. It was bad. The doctors did not know if she would make it, and if they did not take the leg, she was definitely going to die. So my dad had to make the worst decision he's ever had to make. Let's say worst decision. It was the easiest decision when you hear it's leg or death. But having to write down on paper that you approve them cutting off your wife's leg was hard on him. And I think it's understandable for anybody. That would be hard. And so as soon as they cut the leg off, she began recovering pretty quickly. That happened on Friday. I got there. I was able to get down or fly over there on Tuesday, the following Tuesday. And when I got there, she had been intubated the whole time, so she still had a tube in her throat. Eyes were open. She doesn't really remember most of it, but she was answering questions at the time, kind of with like nods and winks, but she was kind of in and out of it. She was on dialysis because of all of the urine that had leaked into her bloodstream and the toxins and the whole thing. And so she was on dialysis. She was she was being intubated. So that was rough to see. And then by the end of the week, she was off dialysis. They pulled the tube out of her throat. And she was talking to us, which is insane. Especially when when they got her moved out of the ICU finally, which was somewhere only like a week and a half after the accident, she got moved out of the ICU. When the doctor walked in to visit us on their rounds, he literally walked in and said, "There's Superwoman." He looked at her and said, "I did not think you were going to make it." The doctors honestly thought she was going to die. Every nurse we talked to is amazed at where she is right now, because they said most people that come in with those injuries, it's months before they're where she is right now. She's currently in a regular hospital room awaiting to go home. Well, I'll get into it. One thing did change today, but she's fine. But one thing did change today. But she's the waiting to go home. The problem is she's going to have to rehab a lot, but she can't rehab right now because she has no weight bearing limbs. Because to fix the pelvis, they had to put 2 pins in to hold the pelvis together, and that's going to take a long time to heal, about 12 weeks. The right wrist has 2 plates in it, one permanent, one that will come out later on. So you can't really put any weight on that. And the whole left arm, that was like a 5.5 hour surgery on the left arm. That was a rough day for us in the waiting room, waiting for that. So she can't do any actual rehab yet. So she just basically has to go home and heal, and then she can learn to, be an amputee and walk. Well, do what she can do. I did hear that the prosthetics, those people are coming by, I think, tomorrow to talk to her. They said that there is, even though it's very little leg left, she is a candidate for prosthesis. So if she's up for it, if not, we'll get her an awesome scooter to drive around in. But yeah, so that's where I've been in the last 2 weeks. Today we did find out they are going to have to go in and fix the bladder. They thought it had healed, but it's still leaking. So Friday they scheduled a surgery to go in and fix up the bladder. And after that, the only surgeries that we know that she has left is to remove the pins in her pelvis and to remove the plate in her wrist. Other than that, I mean, it's amazing. And I've got to tell you, my dad and I learned that my mom is tougher than any person we've ever met in our entire lives. We had no idea how she would handle this mentally or physically. The nurses, the physical part, the nurses are fucking amazed at where she's at. Literally, it's over and over. Every nurse we've talked to, amazed at where she's at. Like mentally, my dad had to have a talk with her. She laid there for a week and a half or so, not knowing she lost a leg. When she finally got the tube out, we had to talk to her, and my dad had to tell her she lost a leg. And he said, she didn't blink. She didn't cry. She said, okay, it is what it is. We'll move on. We'll be fine. Which I don't know if I would handle it that well if I lost a leg.
James, I know you, and I know that you would not have.
I would not. And it was funny. I say funny. It's not funny. It was when the tube came out. One of the first questions she asked was, "Is she dying?" Because she laid there for a week and a half thinking she was dying. She couldn't talk. She had a tube down her throat. She couldn't ask what's going on. She couldn't figure out for sure what's going on. And she's on painkillers and kind of coming in and out of it. And she told us, she said, when you lay there for a week and a half thinking you're dying, and then you come out of it and find out you're not dying, losing a leg's not that big of a deal.
Wow. It's a hell of an outlook.
I know it's crazy. Like I said, I now know that my mom is the toughest person I've ever met. And it's not, I love my mother, but prior to this, I would not have said that. And it just is what it is. But it's crazy. And she's said from now, like, she's planning on traveling. She's planning on doing stuff. There's no like, oh, woe is me, sit at home with one leg. She's wanting to go do stuff. She wants to get this going and be out there.
She hit that truck hard enough that one of the people in the truck got injured too, right?
Yeah, my dad, when he was waiting in the emergency room waiting room, actually sat next to the husband that was driving the truck, and his wife had a leg injury. He says that my mom swerved into the lane. We don't know. We'll never know for sure. I don't know why she would have, but we don't know.
Right.
It was weird. But it's definitely the hardest thing I've ever gone through. And I know that I'm super lucky because, I talked to my mom on the phone today. Like, I got to talk to her. But try not to cry for a second.
Well, I'll say this. The day after, when I was talking to your dad, and he told me that there was 1,000 things that would have to happen before she got to go home, and they were on number 3.
Yeah.
And that it would be 6 to 8 months before she got to go home, and she's going home now.
She was almost ready 2 weeks in. If she didn't have to have the surgery on Friday, they could have sent her home probably tomorrow.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It's literally at 2 weeks after the incident, we were sitting in a regular hospital room.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were talking about months in ICU. Those first couple of days.
Man,
it's
insane. So a couple things come from this. One, and this is the corny one, but always tell people you love them, because you never know when you won't see them again. Like this is the second motorcycle accident my parents have been in. The first time they were on one bike, and I realized at that moment in time I could have lost both parents at the same time. They were both fine-ish afterwards, and they were fine. It was funny. My mom asked how her bike was. It was shortly after the tube came out. She goes, "How's the bike?" And we told her it's totaled. She's like, "Well, I'm probably not going to get another one." And we're like, "No, you're not." So, but yeah, and please, for the love of God, wear a fucking helmet. Just I can't express that enough. And it's funny, my dad spent a bunch of money on one of those there's like jackets. Those it's like basically like an airbag. Like if you were to crash on a bike, it's supposed to blow up and save your internals and all this.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't wearing it. It wouldn't have fucking mattered. the stuff that happened to her would have happened anyways, because there were no internal. She didn't even break a rib.
Right. Yeah. So that's testament to a good quality helmet.
Yeah.
I've worked when I was a cop, I worked so many motorcycle accidents, and every one that was a fatality was no helmet. Every single one. And your head, we're just big sacks of meat and water, and we got to have that protection.
And it blows my mind living in Texas, because we're one of those states where you don't have to wear a helmet.
Yeah.
But you'll pull me over if I'm not wearing a seatbelt.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you had to wear a helmet in Texas prior to like 97, 98, but there was a big group that lobbied and got it passed through the legislature that you didn't have to wear it anymore. You have to have proof. You have to have proof of health insurance on you.
Yeah.
Which most people that you see riding it, I would pull people over all the time. But you got your health insurance card? By what? Most of them didn't have their motorcycle license.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 out of 10 would actually even have a motorcycle license. But you have to have health insurance so that we aren't having to pay for your health care when you crash.
I don't understand how you can pass seatbelt laws and not helmet law. At least with the car, I've got airbags. If I'm not wearing a seatbelt, I still have airbags.
You have a metal frame.
And I'm in a car.
You're in a box.
Yeah.
So
that all we've talked about is your mom?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I do have to give a shout out also to, so my dad is part of a group. It's a national group, but he's got a group. There's the CVMA. It's the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association.
Good job. I was waiting to see if you could remember all the letters.
And they've been the most supportive and amazing through this whole thing. And it makes it much easier on me being 3-4 states away, knowing that there is a large group of people there that are going to help take care of them. Because look, as great as it is right now that she's almost ready to go home, it's going to be a very long road.
Oh yeah.
Just also financially, it's going to be a long road. Physically, mentally, it's going to be a lot. But yeah,
you guys are headed back out there. What, right after school lets out?
Yes. Yeah.
Katie told me, but I couldn't remember exactly when.
Yeah.
We haven't seen her. Joe and I have not.
Right.
And honestly,
which is fine.
When I went, I would not have wanted Joe to see her in that first week.
Yeah.
That'd have been horrible for Joe to see. But she's herself now. I mean, she's.
Oh yeah, we talked to her on the phone earlier.
75% of herself now. But
she's the one that I say she's the one that answered the phone. She's the one that talked first when we answered the phone. Yeah. Although I don't know, she had her fun little tool on.
Tell her that her healing goal needs to be able to make us caramel pies at Christmas.
Yes.
Well, she's already planning. The prosthetic people are supposed to come talk to her. I think she said next week or tomorrow or something. And she's already planning when we're going back to Universal Studios, because the How to Train Your Dragon world opens up in May.
If you've ever seen How to Train Your Dragon, the main character loses his left leg in How to Train Your Dragon.
I was going to say, she has always loved How to Train Your Dragon because of Joe. But now she has like a special connection with it. So. Oh yeah, it's funny.
So anyway,
she even said that Joe's going to have to pick out a How to Train Your Dragon tattoo for her to get.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where I've been the last 2 or so weeks. I
have slept so good since Saturday.
Since I got back. Like I said,
I'm like, where was I with Katie at that she told me all this? And I forgot we were at Callie's birthday
party.
Yeah.
So I know there's a long spiel, had nothing to do with reptiles, but it was me, and I wanted to let it just.
A lot of you have also reached out because we have been mostly transparent with a lot of things. So
yeah.
And I appreciate all the well wishes from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But again, always tell people you love them when you have a chance, because you never know if you won't. And wear a fucking helmet. And also, my mom is the toughest human on earth.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, all right, let's move on to. Let's pick one of these questions that we had.
Or
what?
We could start with a fun segment tonight.
What segment are we doing?
So I found this library book.
Oh God.
It's called Beastly Puzzles.
I didn't know we were doing this, but okay.
And it's so every year after state testing, I do rest your brain stations.
Say breast your brain?
Rest your brain stations.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically fun activities that have no electronics. Since they're on electronics for a whole day of testing, I make them do things without it. So we have a puzzle station. We have a Lego station. I get a bunch of I Spy books, and that's one of the stations. We have board games. And then I have some other things that we do. And so the kids love it. It's a lot of fun. Our math teacher is doing the same exact thing on Friday. But I saw this book at the library and I picked it up because it is a brain-boggling animal guessing game.
Oh, wait, is this the one
I showed you one
before I left? That's right.
Before you left. It was actually due yesterday. I'm just going to put
Jeff
it
said
up.
you said breast. I knew you said breast.
I did not. But I'm in the process.
Definitely did. I just was going to let her make it.
So I'm going to give you a puzzle of animal parts. If you are one of the 4 people in the chat, feel free to chime in. Robert, you're going to get to play too. And we're going to see if you can guess what kind of a creature they could make. Okay. So you did this one, James. So you're not going to.
And I got it.
And you did get it right. Yeah. I was very impressed. So it's what animal could you make with these things? Okay.
And it's a real animal. It's not.
This is real. Yes. Yeah. These are real animals. And I have a hint that I will give you after I give you the clues. Dinosaur feet, black toenails, several feather dusters, a lion killing kick, the speed of a greyhound, 3 billiard balls, a hose.
A giraffe.
Nope.
So the clue, it says this animal uses its wings to make sharp turns.
Feather dusters.
Did he get it?
Yeah.
To make sharp turns, quick stops, and zigzag moves, but don't look for it in the sky.
It was the dinosaur feet and the lion kick.
And it's an ostrich. And so then it goes on to tell you, so the 3 billiard balls, because that's the only one that I didn't really get. Ostrich's eyeballs are 5 centimeters wide, which is the size of a billiard ball. And it's bigger than an elephant's eye and bigger than their brain, which is slightly smaller than a billiard ball. So they have 2 for the eyes and 1 for their brain. Okay. So you haven't done any more in this book. That's the only one that you had done. So now you get to play 2.
Are we going through this whole book?
We're going to go through 2 or 3, and then we're going to do a question, and then we're going to go back and do 2 or 3 because I got to take this back to the library, and it's really fun.
Okay.
And what the fuck else are we going to do?
Okay.
All right. 2 paddles, snowshoes, thermal skin, a fishing gaff hook, steak knives, a transparent raincoat, and 300 kilograms or 660 pounds of fat.
Me.
I'm going polar bear.
Anybody else? All right. So the hint was an animal can smell dinner from more than a mile away. And according to legend, it covers its black nose while hunting to better sneak up on its prey. Good job. It is a polar bear.
Kyle. You and I got polar bear.
Yep.
I was thinking walrus, but then she said a clear transparent coat. And I knew that polar bears have clear hair.
Yep. Well, walrus is a lot more than 660 pounds.
That's what I thought. I thought walrus too. All right. So glue, oil, a file, silver thread, 4 sewing pins, a thimble, and 1 foot.
What? Wait. Go slowly. What was it again?
Glue. And the picture, by the way, is like a sewing room. Not that that matters. Glue, oil, a file, silver thread, 4 sewing pins, a thimble, 1 foot. you want your hint?
A spider.
1 foot though? That can't be a spider.
I don't know.
All right, what's the hint?
This animal has no ears, so it can't hear danger coming. But that's probably for the best because it can't outrun a predator anyways. This was actually pretty good.
So no ears. Okay, well, I mean, I know snakes don't have ears, but nothing else there fits snake. Unless it's a file snake, but no glue, oil, silver thread.
Think of this silver thread as being left behind.
A slug.
Close. A snail. It's a garden snail. That's cool.
Leave a snail trail.
So the 4 sewing pins, they have 2 pairs of tentacles, 2 on the top, which have their eyes.
Yeah.
And then the lower, smaller tentacles.
All right.
Okay. So we'll come back. What just happened?
I moved the computer and it.
There. The whole screen went black in front of me.
I'm currently eating my Easter candy, so I want to go with that question.
That took forever to find those.
Yeah, sorry I did not submit a question, guys. I know you asked yesterday, but
I totally skipped over that whole part of that text message from him. I saw where the beginning and I saw the end, and he was like, "You never gave me a question." I was like, "I wasn't supposed to." He goes, "Yeah, you were." I was like, "My bad."
Well, I don't feel as bad now. I feel 30% less bad.
So the first question I had, we went with like non-reptile questions this week. I just needed a week where we just kind of hung out and talked. If you've listened to the first part of the show, you know why. We have the light bulb giveaway, but we're not at the end of the month yet. So we can still got to talk to you, Jeff, about, you messaged me while I was out of town, but we'll get to with that. But the question is, what is your favorite Easter candy? This came to me as I was trying to hunt Easter candy the day after Easter, although we were trying to hunt it before Easter.
I was going to say, I looked for it for a solid 2 weeks while you were gone and could not find them anywhere.
So I'll go with what everybody said. Our buddy Nathan said it used to be robin eggs, which it still should be, Nathan, but whatever. If I were to eat any now, I'd probably say something like a Reese's egg, but not really a fan of candy though. I'll come back to that because I've got comments on both of those. My dad said anything other than Peeps. Looking at Katie, because Katie loves fucking Peeps.
I mean, you had me at marshmallow, so
yeah. Timothy said the Starburst jelly beans and Skittles, which Jeff Frederick also said Starburst jelly beans.
I may or may not have eaten a small bag of those in the car on the way home yesterday. The whole bag.
I like
Starburst jelly beans are the shit.
I like
sweet tart ones
where you can get the flavored jelly beans at the store and make your own bag.
Yeah,
I like to do half very cherry, half Dr. Pepper.
I do not like buttered popcorn.
I love buttered popcorn.
It smells and tastes like vomit. I can't.
It does not.
It does because the vomit, weird, but it tastes so good.
But the vomit jelly bean from the Harry Potter jelly beans tastes legit like you threw up in your mouth.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna find it out.
Kyle also said Starburst jelly beans and probably or a Snickers egg.
Starburst jelly beans are okay, but I like sweet tart jelly beans better.
I like chewy sweet tarts better.
Those are good.
Chewy sweet tarts are good. Snickers eggs are okay.
I don't think I've ever had anything other than a Reese's egg.
I don't know, but it's just a snack. I don't know. Tyson Dallas said a Reese's egg and then malted eggs, which I assume he means robin eggs because that's a malted egg.
That makes sense. See, I don't like Whoppers either.
See, that's what
you like Whoppers.
So my favorite Easter candy is definitely robin eggs. But I love Whoppers, but a robin egg is not a Whopper. It is a Whopper, but it's not a regular Whopper because it has that candy coating on the outside of it.
I'm gonna tell you what, I could not find robin eggs this year.
The only bag we found one bag yesterday at the Walmart by Micro Center. One bag. That was it.
I went to the Walmart in Pearland. I went to the grocery store Walmart. I went to Target. I went to 3 different HEBs. Could not find these robin eggs. And again, they're his favorite candy. So I always make sure he has at least one bag.
Don't get me wrong. I love Reese's eggs, but I also just love a Reese's peanut butter cup. And I also get the Reese's trees at Christmas time.
I am not a fan. That's because Reese's tastes better in a shape.
No, they taste better in my mouth.
No, they taste like the pumpkins or the eggs or the footballs.
For some reason, the eggs taste better to me.
They do. It has to do with peanut butter to chocolate ratio.
It also has to do with it's the most realistic shape to what they're saying it is.
I have this big heart that Sophie gave me for Valentine's that I forgot about.
That's hilarious.
Well, like the Christmas trees rarely ever look like a Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
And the pumpkins sometimes don't look like a pumpkin. The egg looks like an egg.
I'm not a fan of Cadbury eggs.
I don't like Cadbury eggs. I used to as a kid.
Now, I do like Russell Stover's eggs because they make a milk chocolate marshmallow egg.
Oh, yeah.
The dark chocolate's okay. The milk chocolate strawberry cream eggs are really good. The Russell Stovers. So that's, yeah. I'm a Peeps girl through and through. But I want regular Peeps. I don't want any of this flavored trash that they've been coming out with. I think it was Jeff in the post said, have you ever, in the chat said, have you ever used a Peep for a s'more? I'm just going to say, when you roast a Peep over a fire, all the sugar on the outside crystallizes and caramelizes. And it is some good shit.
Darren, they just finished.
So it's a Peep brulee.
Yes.
And it's amazing. Peeps are not great.
The chocolate egg that had sour candy inside. I don't remember that, Timothy.
I can only eat about 2 Peeps now until I get a really bad sugar headache. Not that, I ate 4 the other day in my classroom and regretted it instantly.
I'm with everybody that says Peeps are gross. Look, I'll eat. Look, I've eaten a Peep. I'll eat one, but I'm not going out of my way for it.
Oh no, I will search them out. And I prefer the chicks to the bunnies. I like the little chicks better than the bunnies, and I like the yellow ones. I don't blue and pink. They're okay, but the yellow chicks are my favorite.
I like to watch. I can't remember Matt. What's his name on?
The Bless Your Heart.
He does the Bless Your Rank stuff on YouTube.
Yeah,
but he did one on Peeps recently where he tried all the different Peeps and ranked them. They're fine.
That's funny,
but I don't know, Timothy. I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, I go Robin eggs, Reese's peanut butter egg, and then it can be pretty much anything else. The Snickers egg to me is it's just a Snickers bar in egg shape. Where I know you're gonna be like a Reese's peanut butter cup. Reese's peanut butter egg is a Reese's peanut butter cup in egg shape, but it's different. It definitely feels different when you eat it as an egg.
yeah.
Michelle brought a giant bag of Starburst to work and has had them on her desk for the last 2 weeks, and I'm about to throw the whole thing away because I eat way too many of them. She bought like a freaking 5-pound bag of Starburst. I love Starburst. They're my favorite by far. The original Starburst. I don't want
individually wrapped.
Kyle's upset because I said a Snickers egg is just a Snickers in egg shape.
I had a parent buy me those for my treasure box, and it was awesome.
Starburst?
Yeah.
But the bag he's talking about, it's like the 5-pound bag of all individually wrapped. I just dumped the whole thing in.
The best is you can buy a bag of all pinks.
Yeah, you could. I actually prefer the orange. That's my favorite.
Oh, bro. Yes. No, y'all are wrong.
Yes, the orange is my favorite.
No, pink is the best one.
I had a friend. We had a oh crap, what's it called? The vending machine at our high school. You could buy the pack of Starburst for $1. And a friend of mine would get one every single day after lunch. She would go to the vending machine. She'd get a pack of Starburst. She saved all of her orange Starburst for a whole month. I had no clue she was doing this. She gave those to me in a little bag that she just tied together for Christmas that year. I graduated high school 21 years ago, and I vividly remember getting this gift because she spent a whole month putting it together.
About liking the orange is everybody comes in my office and picks all the red and pink out. So they leave all the orange. So I just go grab a handful of orange.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my
our TV's not connecting correctly.
Keeps having issues. Anyways, Jeff said that Snickers are not Reese's got sued by a woman at some point because she wanted it to have the cutouts to have the already in the Reese's pumpkins.
Go.
Which I thought was funny. Hold on one second. I gotta see if I can fix my screen here. Maybe not. I can't see the screen at all now. I don't know what I did. I fucked it up. I can still hear everything though. Mm-hmm. So I can still read this also is not a touch screen. I keep trying to. Oh, so many things.
I have a story for you guys.
Go.
My girlfriend got a milk snake. First snake. I'd given her that 20 long that I used to have sitting right back here. Mm-hmm. And she got the milk snake, got it all set up. We put the spiky things that you can get to keep cats off the top of things on top of it. Keeps cats and birds off. Well, her cats just treated that like another toy. They managed to bust the screen open on the enclosure. The snake got out. Sophie found it the other night in the corner of her bedroom being tormented by a cat, and then just couldn't get up the nerve to grab it. Luckily, she kept it corralled, and I had already taken my night-night medicine, so I could not be driving.
I love it. The night-night medicine.
My night-night medicine, so I could not be driving. So I finally was like, do you have any gloves? She's like, I have oven mitts. I'm like, get the oven mitts, pick the snake up, and go put her back in her enclosure. So she did. Y'all completely froze up now.
Okay, so I totally didn't realize that would cut off Robert's volume when I unplugged that.
I was going to say, I think we lost Robert now. Good job, James. This is why we can't have nice things.
So many things going on right now.
He's back.
Sorry, Robert.
So she got the oven mitts. James is just unplugging shit over here trying to get the TV to work.
So anyway, she used the oven mitts and caught the snake and got it put back in its enclosure and fixed it.
Her.
Moved it into a bedroom where the cats can't get to it. And it's a pretty little milk snake, but I'm hoping that the cat, I just told her to leave it alone. It shed that day. I just told her to leave it alone for a couple of days because it was pretty stressed out.
Oh, yeah.
Until she checks on it to make sure. Because I said, if that cat bit that snake, there's nothing you can do for it. Either the snake's going to heal or it's going to die. There's not really no amount of betadine or chlorhexidine or anything is going to save that snake.
Poor thing.
Now my browser has lost connection to my camera.
So we are in a group chat with some friends.
Okay, I got the camera working at least now.
There are 10 of us in this chat. And we're some pretty out there people. And this morning around 6:30, I get an article in the chat. And a 6th grader did his science fair project on whether or not a cat's butthole touches stuff when it sits down. So, of course, you know.
We all wondered it.
Well, once I was awake.
That's not true. We did not all wonder that.
I just assumed it did, to be honest. But anyway, so I
can assure you that Bug's butthole does.
Well, apparently what I found even more interesting than the fact that, you know, he did an experiment on this, his personal cats are trained, like command trained. So they can sit on command, they can lie down on command, they can high five, they can speak, they can and there was like 2 or 3 other things. I'm like, that in and of itself is fascinating, but I digress. So anywho, they bought non-toxic lipstick, put it on the cat's butthole, and then proceeded to run through the list of commands on different surfaces to see if the lipstick transferred from the cat's butthole to whatever surface it was on.
I wonder what the hell the cat was thinking.
They found, and then they just used a baby wipe to clean it afterwards, it said. They found that long-haired cats had absolute no transfer. I guess the hair gets in the way. It was more difficult to clean, they said. Medium regular hair cats also did not have any transfer of the lipstick to surface area, but they found that short-haired cats were, what did it say in the article? It was something about if it was a pile of clothes, it could get on some of your clothing. But if it was like a counter or a pillow or the couch or whatever, you'd be fine. It was only when the cat was like trying to like lay on a fluffy pile of laundry or something, some of the lipstick would transfer off.
Not to be confused with the dog's lipstick, which is a different kind of
totally
lipstick.
Different kind of lipstick. So then, of course, I have to share this at lunch today with some coworkers after I discovered this information. I felt like the whole world needed to know. And so one of my coworkers, he goes, well, isn't all lipstick non-toxic? And my switch teacher goes, well, no, they make that lipstick that like instantly plumps up your lips. So that's probably not non-toxic.
You wouldn't want to put that on a cat's butthole.
falls over because he goes, all I can picture in my head now is a cat's butthole that has plumping lipstick on it, and it's plumping the butthole instead. I was like, well, that probably would have skewed his test results had he used that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was our fun scientific information for the day. But I thought that was a pretty great science fair experiment. My only question is, where does he live that he got permission to use an animal with vertebrates?
Vertebrates? You mean
or vertebrae as his experiment?
Yeah, because most science fairs
science fairs won't allow you to use vertebrae.
Really?
Vertebrates. That's vertebrates. You'll get it right at some point.
But yeah, so that was my thing.
All right, so you don't get to see the screen tonight. I don't know what
okay.
it is. They can see us. So they can see you.
Don't do anything embarrassing, is what you're saying.
I can see y'all. The video is about 30 seconds behind the audio, and it's super blurry.
Oh, that's crazy. It's clear on my. I don't know.
No idea.
I don't know.
Well, I'm almost done eating my chicken.
So, all right. Let's get to. So this question came up only because I was sitting watching videos on my phone at like 2 a.m. and there's a guy. I forget his name. He's a DJ, but he always does like the mashups, like cartoons, R&B music, or like rock with R&B background music. So
I like when he does like Christian music and Disney songs.
They also make Christian music, but
pretty good stuff.
So it got me thinking about cartoons, and a lot of the cartoons he does are cartoons I grew up on. So he's got to be
our age.
Yeah, he's around our age, and so I wanted to know everyone's 3 favorite cartoons, and obviously it's gonna change to think that's gross.
I'm really sorry.
Based on people's age.
Mute my microphone.
You gotta give me a heads up. They can't hear you, so you're sorry now. You're muted. You're staying muted. So anyways, so I got 3 favorite cartoons of all time. That's what I had on here. Oh, I'll unmute you now. You're done. Spoiling Snot Rockets over there.
I'm really sorry.
All right, let's go with. We'll go there. All right, there we go. Hey,
don't touch anything on this table.
It's good now. Our buddy Nathan said South Park was number 1 for him. F is for Family, which I don't know that one. And then he said Spawn, which I never watched the cartoon.
I'm sorry, I was reading the comments about the cat lipstick and buttholes. That was pretty funny.
And he said, this is a tough question because many of the ones I used to enjoy I haven't watched in years. When I was younger, it would have been Scooby-Doo, Johnny Quest, and Thundercats. Is what he said.
Oh, that's a good one.
Those are good ones. Okay, not touch screens. I have to use my mouse. Jesus Christ. Timothy said, if I had to rewatch 3, it would be Looney Tunes.
Good one.
Fucking computer. Okay, maybe this computer doesn't like me. Looney Tunes, Grim Adventures of Bill and Mandy. I don't know that one.
I didn't watch that one.
And South Park.
I wasn't allowed to watch South Park.
And then he said an honorable mention was Flintstones and Ed, Edd n Eddy. I was never an Ed, Edd n Eddy.
I was an adult when South Park came out. I was 18 when South Park came out, so yeah. I was never not allowed to watch it.
We weren't allowed to watch Nickelodeon cartoons either, like Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead.
We'll get into it in a second.
No Simpsons?
She wasn't a fan. My mom was not a fan.
Christina said TV shows or movies. She said TV show list would be Lab Rats, Phineas and Ferb. I do
love Phineas and Ferb.
Love Phineas and
Ferb. Hold on. Your dad just joined us in the chat. Chris Dieter said that you are correct about the Peeps, and while I love you both dearly, you're both wrong.
Jason said Gargoyles. Gargoyles was an awesome cartoon.
That was a very underrated cartoon.
That was a good cartoon.
Darkwing Duck.
The Mighty Ducks.
Bringing back some fucking memories now, because I thought I knew my 3, but now I'm like, wait a minute.
So many options.
So he said Gargoyles, The Mighty Ducks, and Pirates of Dark Water. I don't know that one.
I didn't watch that one.
Kyle Graff said Rugrats, which that Rugrats is a great one. Adventure Time. I never watched Adventure Time. Rocko's Modern Life, which is really, when you think about it, should not have been a fucking kids cartoon.
That was another one we weren't allowed to watch.
That was like one step shy of Ren and Stimpy.
If people were ugly to each other in the cartoon, my mom didn't like us watching it.
And then Kyle said the X-Men, the animated series, which used to be awesome. It used to come on in the afternoons when I got home from school. It was on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
It was that and then Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
So I got home late. I always got to see Spider-Man, but sometimes I get home early enough to watch X-Men also. Todd Autry said Beavis and Butthead, South Park, and Charlie Brown. That is the okay.
That's a very interesting combination.
That's an odd combination, but that definitely. Darren said Hong Kong Phooey, Centurions, Mask, and Voltron. Darren, you're fucking old, man.
Voltron.
Jeff in the chat says Voltron, Thundercats, and original Teenage Mutant Turtles.
I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
So mine was weird. Like it definitely.
It depended on my era.
If I'm ranking like all time, like Scooby Doo is probably number one if I had to rank all time favorite cartoon.
Scooby Doo, I never watched as a kid, but I've watched it more as an adult because of my kid.
But if you watch the original or the newer stuff?
No, she watches both.
Okay.
Because she used to be afraid of it.
Like Harlem Globetrotters original.
Yes. She watches the originals because it used to scare her when she was little. And so now that she's gotten older, she appreciates it more. She's like, how did
I want to do my 3 as a kid and 3 as an adult.
Go ahead.
3 as a kid, number 1 was Tailspin.
Yes.
Tailspin was a good one.
I love Tailspin.
That was the one based off of Jungle Book, right? With the pilot. Yeah.
Sort of, yeah. Because you had Chip and Dale in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2 for me would have been Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original.
Yes.
Because I remember being in like 3rd grade and fighting over who got to be Michelangelo and who got to be Raphael.
Fucking love Michelangelo.
At lunch or at recess.
We all know that Donatello is the superior Ninja Turtle.
No, it's Michelangelo.
Michelangelo, always. And then number 3 was He-Man.
That's a good one.
I had the He-Man, the Castle Grayskull that you could talk into, change your voice. I had all that stuff.
I was a nerd. I liked Captain Planet.
Love Captain Planet.
But then as an adult, it's 100% South Park. Beavis and Butthead, because that was when I was a preteen and a teen. We watched Beavis and Butthead. And probably Family Guy. So
I guess mine's different. It definitely would be kid, adult. So for me, South Park was in that in between. South Park was like high school for me. So that's when and I didn't get Comedy Central until I moved to Alabama, which was my sophomore year of high school, and that's when I got to watch South Park. I did like South Park, and then when the movie came out, that was great. College was Family Guy. That was prime Family Guy, and I loved Family Guy, and that was good. It was also, I don't know how many of y'all watched Cartoon Network at night and they had Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm old enough to remember Family Guy when it first came out on Fox, and then they canceled it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got brought back by... Who brought it back?
Fox.
Comedy Central?
No, Fox brought it back.
Fox brought it back. Family Guy back.
I forget who had it first.
It was Fox, I think, and then Fox realized
they canceled it and realized that they made a mistake and brought it back. Animaniacs was a good one.
Animaniacs. Well, that was also that was part also of Pinky and the Brain. Was that the same show and all that? But yeah, no, Aqua Teen. If anybody doesn't remember Aqua Teen Hunger Force, I fucking love it. It had a talking meatball named Meatwad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, talking French fry container called Frylock, and then you had Master Shake, which was a milkshake. And they lived next to this white trash dude named Carl. Who fucking loved was it Foreigner? I think he loved Foreigner.
Oh,
he had the Foreigner belt, and fucking loved Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
So I don't have like favorites, but cartoons that I vividly remember. I remember the Animaniacs and Looney Tunes, like classic Looney Tunes. Marvin the Martian, hands down, is my favorite Looney Tune character, and Elmer Fudd, which I don't really know why. I just really like Elmer Fudd. Eureka's Castle.
That wasn't a cartoon though.
Wasn't it though?
No, I watched that. That was puppets.
Okay.
Eureka's Castle.
I remember that because that and the Sharon Lois and Bram show would come on.
What also came on that morning it was a cartoon that I liked was David and the Gnomes.
See, and I never watched that one. I don't think.
Real Monsters was a great one.
So I'm old enough to remember when The Simpsons was a short skit on the Tracy Ullman show.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought it was hilarious. I was a little kid, and then when it came out, we used to watch it. My mom wouldn't let us watch it, but I would watch it every time I stayed at my dad's house. We'd watch it on Saturday nights.
Two Angry Beavers. I remember Two Angry Beavers. And what was it? Log. It was a log. It was the toy.
Yeah.
What a wonderful toy. Anyways, so Simpsons, I feel like Simpsons should be number one because of how long it's lasted, and that Family Guy is basically
Mouse.
Family Guy is basically based off of Simpsons. But I prefer
Simpsons
Family
is
Guy.
the longest running TV show in the world history.
Yeah.
Mighty Mouse was in that same. See, and I also loved Rocky and Bullwinkle. I watched nerdy stuff when I was
a little kid. I watched Felix the Cat
and Dudley Do Right.
Yep.
I love Dudley Do Right.
And I didn't realize I watched so many cartoons in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely have to go with Captain Planet. Captain Planet, and I mean, we only ever really watched it at school, although sometimes you catch it on PBS. Magic School Bus was.
Oh, Magic School Bus, hands down.
And
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
I'll still show Magic School Bus episodes
again,
to high
that's
school
kind of
kids.
puppets, though. Although I love now, one of my kids actually picked Mr. Rogers for our Who Was project. Because he was like, I feel like this looks familiar to me. And he's like looking at the front of the book where you've got like the train and everything. I said, well, have you watched on PBS? It's called Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. And he was like, yes, this is what it's based on. I was like, yes, this is who it's based on.
I'm going to turn you way down because you are yelling tonight.
I'm sorry.
You got to calm down over there.
But yeah, it was. So anyway, can we turn this off?
No, because I have no idea how to turn it off.
Mary and Joseph, and I don't have my phone to get our kid.
Hanna-Barbera was good.
I liked Hanna-Barbera.
What was the thing? I saw something the other day. Like George Jetson was born like a year ago, basically.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. If you looked at or maybe it was, I forget what it was, but it's not that long. He
should be living now.
We don't have flying cars.
Well, you know that Skynet took over the world in 2029. And look what they have caught AI doing already about replicating itself and stuff. So
that does seem about right.
What was the one with the blue dog?
Blue?
It was a Hanna-Barbera.
Oh,
and he talked real slow.
Fuck, why can I?
Country.
Shit.
What was his name?
No, I know that one.
Dynamite.
No.
Dog Wonder. Huckleberry Hound.
May have been
Huckleberry Hound.
Yes.
What was the one with the cats? Remember the one at the same time, like there was like a trash can. It was around the same time as those two. I can't remember. There were a lot of really good ones around that time.
I liked Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Flintstones is also up there as like a number one for me. I loved Flintstones.
Yeah. John Goodman will always be.
That's the movie. You can't.
I know it's the movie.
Cartoons.
I know we're talking cartoons, but he will always be a Flintstone for me.
Talking cartoons here.
Anyways.
Also, going back to just fun fact for those that don't know, which you should, but if you don't know about Scooby-Doo's voice and Shaggy's voice were the same.
I did know that.
Do you know who they were?
Yeah, I can see him in my head.
It was Casey Kasem.
I was going to say he did the music.
The countdown. Yeah,
the countdown.
Casey Kasem was the original voice for Scooby and Shaggy. So in all those scenes, it's just Casey Kasem talking to himself.
Yep.
While Fred is off banging two chicks.
Mm-hmm. So much happened.
That's also like you go back and you're like, all right, so Fred was definitely banging two chicks, and Shaggy was definitely smoking a shit ton of weed.
Yeah. You still have potheads today who model themselves on Shaggy.
Yes. Chris, yes, we are.
What is the date of Crockfest again?
I'll be there. I don't care what the date is.
No. But I mean, we need to just.
That is true. What is the date?
We'll make sure we're not on the road traveling. I think it's Saturday, June 7th, because that's the day that Joe and I come back from the cruise, and you're not going to be able to come pick us up.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Shit.
June 7th?
Yes, that's June 7th.
What?
I just scheduled a work thing for that day. All right, I'm going to change it.
Time to reschedule. Chris,
well, I already had to change it, so I couldn't do it. We're doing a scratch and dent sale with a bunch of extra appliances we have. So I couldn't do it May 17th because of the San Antonio show. The following weekend is Memorial Day weekend. The following weekend after that is my dad's birthday. So I was like, all right, let's do it June 7th. I knew that date sounded familiar.
All right.
I will be there.
Are we done with
cartoons? Yeah. So the Nick lineup in the 90s was good though.
Mhm.
I did. Cat Dog was weird. It got kind of weird around Cat Dog, but Two Angry Beavers was funny. I was never I liked Rocko's.
See, I watched.
I loved Rugrats way more. Rugrat and Doug.
We
I fucking
watched
loved Doug.
like morning cartoon, like kid cartoons.
I love Doug. The live action stuff on Nick at that time was amazing. Remember Pete and Pete?
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one. All that.
I wasn't allowed.
Hey
to watch.
Dude.
I wasn't allowed to watch any of that.
You don't watch Hey Dude?
I mean, I watched it, but we
Loved
weren't
Hey
supposed to.
Clarissa Explains It All.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite show. What was that called?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
That was later. That was TGIF.
What was that show called?
I don't know.
Hold on, I gotta.
What was it about?
Hold on. It was a camp. They were all at like a summer camp.
Hey Dude.
Hey
Oh
Dude.
no, Salute Your Shorts.
Salute Your Shorts.
Yes.
Fucking love it. Salute Your Shorts and Hey Dude came on around the same time. They were both great.
Yes. Salute Your Shorts was great. I can still sing the theme song.
Mm-hmm.
Camp Bonawana. We hold you in our hearts. And when we think about you, it makes me want to fart. So I hope we never part.
Yeah.
God, that was only on for a year.
Was it? There's no way.
July 4th, 1991 to September 12th, 1992.
Oh,
So then they just reran a bunch of stuff. That I feel like it was on air for much
26
longer
episodes, 2 seasons.
They just melted that song into our heads then, because that's a long time ago, and I still remember every word of that song.
That's funny.
Oh shit!
Yep.
Damn.
All right, we ready for another animal trivia?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. What animal could you make with these items? A lasso, a bicycle horn, 2 marbles, a bouncy ball, a flashlight, and a clamshell.
All right, go through them slower.
Okay. A clamshell.
Okay.
A flashlight, a bouncy ball, 2 marbles, a bicycle horn, and a lasso.
Okay, these are definitely getting harder.
Do you want your hint?
Hold on. I want to see if people in the chat can try and guess too. Again, she's giving you these hints, and they lead to trying to figure out what the
You have to figure
is.
out what animal you could make with all of these items.
The clamshell's tricky because you got to wonder: does it just have a shell, or is it? Don't
with the clamshell.
Don't be giving away stuff yet.
I'm not.
Yes, you literally are. What's the hint at the bottom?
Okay. The hint at the bottom says, some say this animal is named for its call, which can sound like the drone of a motor or even the roar of a bull.
You're staring at me like I should fucking know this.
So I'll give you the hint about the clamshell. So its mouth is almost as wide as its body, and it can eat anything that it fits inside.
Bullfrog.
Yes.
Got it.
I knew you would get it as soon as I read that.
What's lasso's the tongue? But that's bullshit, because that's not. So that is cartoon-based bullfrog information, because they do not use their tongue like
the bouncy ball is jumping. The flashlight are the mirror-like tissues on the back of their eyes.
What's the lasso? It's gonna be
The
tongue.
lasso can snag an animal 1.4 times its weight.
Oh, I thought they're like, like all the cartoon frogs that stick their they basically.
That would be like a
blades.
10-year-old child swallowing a Siberian husky in one gulp.
The lasso's a bad one. That's not a very good hint.
All right. Ready?
All right, go ahead.
Hey, real quick.
Yep.
There's 10 episodes of Salute Your Shorts on Paramount Plus.
Fuck yeah.
Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
All right. So we have spiked body armor.
Okay.
Crusher jaws. I know this one, I bet. 2 surveillance cameras. Maybe I don't. Mirrored sunglasses. Yes, I do. Camouflage or neon. It depends.
A chameleon?
Poison to kill 30 humans.
No.
No,
I'm
I
going,
don't know this.
I'm going with a lionfish.
Oh, I would have never guessed this one.
Wait, hold.
What's the hint?
The hint says this animal's stomach can swell to over 100 times its original size, but it cannot digest a single bite.
Okay, pufferfish. That makes sense.
I didn't know pufferfish couldn't digest food.
What? No,
That's what it says. It says it can't digest a single bite of food.
that can't be right. Then how the fuck do they eat?
Mm.
I'm gonna need somebody to figure that can't be right. Jeff got blowfish. Yeah, they have to eat.
We're about to do the Google.
Because that doesn't make sense. That don't make no sense.
Let's say I've watched videos of pufferfish like destroying crabs.
It was a toad.
We need to watch that movie with our kid.
She hasn't seen it?
No.
For anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, you should be ashamed of yourself.
You absolutely should, because you know what? That means you're not bona fide.
He's bona fide.
He's bona fide.
I couldn't help it.
He's a suitor.
The best thing you ever did for those girls get hit by that train.
What train? I'm a dapper damn man.
Oh, won't fuck, God damn it.
Sorry.
Ain't this a geographical anomaly?
Such a good movie.
It's such a great movie.
It's been so
And then
long
when you know
since
that
I've
it's based
seen
on
it.
the Odyssey,
Yeah.
I know, and Joe's obsessed with the Odyssey right now. So I
Whoa.
really think she would really enjoy
Well,
it.
tell her and see if she figures it out.
Done RUNNOFT.
All right, last one, and then we're gonna go to the next question. Enormous feet. A 3-legged woman.
Wait,
No. That was part of the funhouse. That's the background. Just kidding. Scratch that. See, look, it's in a
Speaking of
funhouse
enormous
carnival.
feet, Katie almost killed a kid the other night.
I did.
Sam said, you saying bona fide may be the funniest thing you've ever said. Oh.
Oh God.
Timothy-
I did almost kill somebody the other night making fun of my feet.
So Timothy says the intestines break stuff down. That's what happened.
Mhm.
Ah,
So that's actually what she's currently obsessed with. Jeff said, has Joe found Epic the musical based on the Odyssey? And I have listened to that soundtrack many a day on the way to school.
By the way, for those that aren't
Yeah.
that are lacking in, I don't know, decency, the movie is Oh Brother Where Art Thou. If
Why did
haven't
you tell
seen-
them?
Because they need to know. If you haven't seen Oh Brother Where Art Thou, it's one of the best movies ever made.
yeah, for sure.
So go see it. And if you
Had a
don't like it,
great soundtrack.
and if you don't like it, you're just wrong. Best thing you could do is get hit by that train.
Oh my gosh.
All right, big feet. What else?
So enormous
in Yazoo City.
enormous feet, rabbit ears, a secret compartment. I know this one.
Oh, kangaroo.
A springboard, peanut, an extra leg for going slow, and boxing gloves.
Yeah, that's
Man
kangaroo.
of constant
It's a red
sorrow.
kangaroo.
God, that's a good-
Yeah, so I did almost. So I have very large feet, and everyone who knows me personally is aware of this. I wear a women's
If you don't know her personally,
size
you'll be aware of it.
12
They're huge.
shoe. Well, at the bowling alley, they gave me a men's size 12 because when I put them on, they were way too big for me. However, as I was walking away from the counter holding them, this teenager was like, Tim, look at the size of her shoes. I'm like, motherfucker.
Then he came over.
Robert,
killed a
I
child.
was pissed when I got back to where our group was. Oh God. I just wanted to slap him upside the head with that big old shoe. Jesus.
All right, what was the next question, James?
All right, so the next two questions kind of go hand in hand. Katie gave me one, and I kind of tweaked it.
I
and she
don't think they go hand in hand.
They do in the way that I want to talk about them.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. It's trying to do my podcast and do what the fuck I want. The first one was, what hobbies do you have other than reptile keeping? Yours that you posted are, other than reptiles, what are some things you collect? And
Because
hold on. God damn, chill. You'll have your chance to talk or I'll mute you. I just throwed it be your folding money came unstuck.
hey, focus.
Not the livestock. Oh shit.
It hurts.
I've got to watch that movie again.
I don't have my phone, so I can't even see where it's streaming.
Oh fuck. Anyways, I think the two, what do you collect and hobbies can go. I don't say they are always going to go hand in hand because you may collect things like we'll talk about that is not a hobby for you.
Correct.
You just collect certain things.
Correct. Like Pokemon.
Oh, George, not the. Oh God.
Oh, yep.
But you also may collect things that may be your hobby. So like, I like to collect Lego, but I also like to build Lego.
Correct.
So it's both. I like to collect snakes, but I also like taking care of snakes.
And
That's kind of hand in hand.
okay, I get that. Yeah. So your hobby could be like, I collect fabric.
No, that's an issue that you need to see somebody about. That's not a hobby. That's a problem.
But I also make things with it occasionally.
Sometimes. Or sometimes you go, hey, I want to make this. Let me go buy all new fabric and ignore the tubs and tubs of fabric.
Can't do that anymore because Joann's is closing.
Oh God,
and
your
fabric
Lord.
is expensive.
You may have to start using some of the stuff we own.
I have. It's ugly. I don't like it.
You bought.
No.
Katie, how many rolls of filament did James have when you organized them?
116. He's ordered more since then.
I ordered from two different places last night.
Your dad said your mother collects collections.
She does.
Yes.
Just like
Sam
Sam
hobbies.
collects hobbies.
So this is where
so he really wants to go
works.
there.
So hobbies and collecting.
We'll
he does both.
Throw you under the bus.
I can list the hobbies. I remember this is my childhood growing up with Sam.
God.
Home craft beer making. That was one at one point.
I wasn't there for that one.
No, you weren't. I was young.
Cycling.
But
I wasn't there for that one either.
That was when he was actually like in shape. I know if anybody's met my dad, they'll be like, wow, the fuck did he sit on a bike? He did. He was normal shape at one point.
Normal shape.
Yeah.
Less round.
Josephine. The face that she just made from the door.
What else? Oh, wait, hold on. There at one point he had the Volkswagen bus, and that was kind of a thing.
He was into smoking, not like
cigars at one point. And
I was talking about the food.
But then he was into grilling and smoking for a while. That was a great one. I enjoyed that. I benefited from that one.
I didn't get anything.
Like a barbecue. Did wood carving?
I was around for the wood carving.
I
have a clock and a pin.
Fishing for a while there.
We have fishing. And he like made his own fishing rods. And
now it's motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a Renaissance man, is what you're saying.
Sure, make it sound pretty. Oh goodness.
Anyways, let's go to some of the hobbies some of our listeners had. Oh man. There were a lot of answers here. Our buddy Jack from the nether regions said bouldering, which is rock climbing here for us normal people.
Mm-hmm.
Bouldering. It's not a boulder when you're inside climbing a wall, man. But
he is outside too.
Jeff says he's carving right now. Jack also says he's got a lot of different animals that he takes care of, like the emus, sheep, chickens, and dogs. And he loves to go fishing. That's what we didn't do while he was here. He needs to come back. We need to go fishing.
Just randomly coming back to the States.
I mean, I know we should probably go over there and see him, but just come back here. They don't have barbecue and Tex-Mex, Mexican food over there. So come on over here.
Bring your puppy. That's so cute.
Our buddy Megan said reading, baking, running community snake programs. She volunteers with the Gulf Center for Sea Turtle Research as part of the rescue and recovery team for stranded sea turtles.
I know. I was actually going to look into that this year, but their training weekends all conflict with things that I already have signed up for.
Our buddy Danielle said reading, martial arts, and dogs. These are her hobbies.
I do like to read.
Paul Byfield said his dogs and hunting. I think that's all he pretty much does at this point. I know he's got to work at some point. I just don't know when it is. Jessica Lee Anderson said my livelihood involves writing and reading. And I love to travel and hike when I can, as well as bake.
Our kids gotten into baking lately.
My dad wrote titties and beer. That's a lie, but he can pretend it. Drew, our buddy Drew, which this makes complete sense. Historical sword fighting and medieval reenactment.
Drew does do it. He's going to Europe to do it. I think.
I was going to say he's actually fixing to go on a pretty big trip for that. I think.
Yeah. Ryan McVeigh said, "I hammer hot metal until it's pretty."
That's cool.
That's one way to put it. Robbie, our buddy Robbie says, apparently I'm addicted to reef tanks as well. That has become his new thing.
Yeah.
Saltwater reef tanks.
I called him Saturday and said, what are you doing? He's like, headed to the reef store. I said, you went balls deep into the fucking reef tanks. Like, immediately. I think he told me he has 4 set up already.
Wow.
He's going to have to get rid of all those ball pythons so he can have room for all the reef tanks.
He said he's going to downsize his ball python collection.
I would too. Donald Kane said herping for reptiles. Timothy said crystal, minerals, and fossil collecting. Also painting, hiking, and fishing when I can.
I wouldn't mind going hiking more.
Christina Lynn Peter said dog sports.
Oh, we live in Texas.
What is dog sports?
Like the obstacle course stuff with your dogs.
If you say so.
It's like a competition thing. Like agility stuff.
Graham posted.
I think I may be wrong.
Graham posted himself with Lego, so his also going to be Lego.
So much Lego in this house.
Aaron King. Aaron said, I love chill out on the PlayStation and exploring the harsh wastelands of Fallout 4.
It has been a hot minute since we sat around and played video games like that.
By hot minute, you mean over a decade?
No, it's been that long for you. But our kid was real into it for a while, but then school started up again. She'll get real into it again over the summer.
Oh, that's true. I did play a little bit with her.
Yeah. But even she
said dock diving is cool. Watching the dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool. Allison Harris said, lately I've been in my grill dad era since my husband bought me a pellet smoker last year, focusing on cooking kind of makes my inner demons shut the fuck up for a bit. Also fun. Gaming and drawing and painting, but not as much as I'd like to. Jamie Lee Kozler said, horses. I'm not just regular. I have a lot of snakes pour. I'm $20 bales on a dry lot with 4 horses pour. I still don't regret choices. Tyson Dow said, hobbies. What are hobbies? I used to be a big birder, but I haven't done much birding in a few years.
I like food.
I'm fine. Shush, I'm reading. I'm finding it very difficult to have hobbies anymore. Our society makes everyday life very unforgiving. We're also, it's getting very sad. I got to move on from that one. Ish said, keeping tropical fish. That's a good one. Darren said, RC cars, planes, helicopters, construction equipment. I ride a sports bike and I like firearms. As long as, Darren, you ride that sports bike with a fucking helmet on, we're good. I do like, so I wanted to get into RC at one point, and I had a bad experience with it. Before I got my drone, I need to fly my drone more often. That's not a bad experience. That's great. Well, except for the fucking bird that knocked down this guy. Goddamn bird.
That shit traumatized you.
It
did. I really am afraid to fly.
Y'all just don't know how bad it was.
I'm so afraid for my drone to get knocked out.
Even when it's like fireworks on New Year's, he's like hesitant and it's dark and he's still just like a bird could get it.
But no, I did try RC helicopters at one point, and we bought what was supposed to be the best beginner RC helicopter, and it was nothing but a nightmare. And it was just mine. Like I sent it to get it fixed. I sent it back. The
company even said you got the 1 in 100.
But they wouldn't replace it. And I took it to the RC shop. I was like, hey, guy, I said to the guy that was the RC shop, I said, you fly this and tell me if it's just me. And he goes to fly it and he goes, everything's fucked up. I was like, got it. And then I tried to get a new one. It was a whole big thing. So I just gave up on that. But the drone has been, I need to get out there and fly it more. The drone has been much easier. Kristen said, taking my girls' places. David Kelly said, herping. Keith Sweet said, thinking about reptiles. Dawn Bartlett said, educating others on snakes through groups and presentations. Canning, baking, and gardening. Other hobbies.
I like to eat food.
That's not a hobby. That's
it is alive. If you're eating new foods. I like to try new foods.
I tried something new this week.
Which was?
Are you gonna tell us?
Thai food.
What was it?
Oh, you never had Thai food before?
I haven't had Thai food in like 20 years.
I love it.
Or more. And we went the other day for lunch and it was excellent.
That's awesome.
Of course, I got the white people Thai food. I got pad Thai.
Yeah.
And it was good.
I mean, as far as hobby, like, so reptiles are a big part, but 3D printing is kind of taking over a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
What?
Kyle's a smart ass. That's what.
I like I said, I like Lego, but since I've done 3D printing, I haven't really had time for Lego or money for Lego, so I haven't done Lego lately. But although I did think about, like, at one point selling all of my Lego to buy a 3D printer, because I could buy a pretty good 3D printer if I sold all my Lego,
especially some of that retired Star Wars stuff that you have.
But I also like having that stuff too. So Katie's is just supposedly quilting, but it only happens like once every 4 months. I
have actually been very busy lately with quilting. I have gifted multiple projects in the last month to people. I made a really freaking cool armadillo pillow and gave to our friend Callie.
True.
That pattern, actually, it's a quilt pattern, but then you can just make one block and turn it into a pillow. And that's
so for Robert, I guess yours right now would be 3D printing.
Yeah, I just need Katie's hobby to be sewing a button back on some shorts.
It is sitting downstairs. I pass it every day.
Since Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get it when you come to our house.
Saturday. We will make sure. Yes.
I'm not worried about it. I just like giving you a hard time.
Fuck.
Look, here's the goal. She's like, she's not going to do it because she figures you need to lose weight. So by the time she does it, it just won't fit.
There's that.
She's trying to help
I didn't
you.
even think about that.
Okay. She's forgetting and
I
not
have
doing
stuff for my classroom that I need to sew and repair too, and I haven't done that yet. And my kids ask me like every day, "Did you fix my number bag?" Nope. Didn't get moved to the top of the list, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty much 3D printing. That's kind of all I do anymore.
Yeah.
I have used my sewing machine more in the last 3 months than I have in probably the last 6 or 7. It's been nice because we have a great setup in there now. So I can sit and sew, and I just have to turn to get to the ironing board or turn the other way to get to my cutting space. And then the TV's right there and you hang out on the futon.
My problem is my hobbies tend to become too expensive to have multiple hobbies.
My goodness, yes.
Like between snakes and 3D printing, I don't have extra money.
But they are paying for themselves.
3D printing it.
Ish.
Snakes, not so much. 3D printing's done a pretty good job of paying for itself, actually.
For the most part, yes.
I would like to save up and buy a gun and be able to go hunting and talk Robert into taking me hunting since I've never been hunting.
So I was actually going to talk to you about that. If you will get your hunting license before, you're going to have to just buy one to have it, even though you won't get to use it because you'll have to buy another one in September. In July, I could start signing us up for the hunts for next season.
Okay.
I mean, just go buy the $19 hunting license.
Yeah,
don't
payday,
get
I'm going to go.
Stamps, don't get anything.
Yeah, payday, I'm going to go.
Might as well get it and get your reptile stamp too, so we can go herping.
Well, I'm gonna get that in the fishing one, so I can fish places other than my neighborhood pond.
Yeah. Then I can start sign you up for those hunts with me this year.
Like fleece fabric,
or just he went out and killed a bunch of sheep.
Stop it!
And he's just got
stop it.
Sheep.
I do read a lot.
Did he fleece them?
And I read. If you follow me on Goodreads, you're going to see some interesting stuff. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Like you don't need your students' parents following you on Goodreads?
So my old assistant principal was like, you have to get Goodreads. I follow all of your stuff that you're posting on Facebook. And I'm like, here's the thing. My Facebook posts about books are child friendly.
I was right.
That's not at all what the majority of the shit I read is.
I was right. Jeff does have just like
the whole wool. I don't know what we would do with it. Now I need to find out though.
You find you an Amish person, see if they can turn it into something.
Katie needs a spinning loom so she can make her own.
I don't know about all that. My mom did buy me one of those little Wooble crochet kits because they were on sale. And she got me the Frankenstein's monster. So I'm going to try to make it. Our child says that they have very easy to follow videos online. So we'll see. I don't like to sit still. That's my problem.
Print a loom.
I don't like to sit still. I did the other night though, and it was like last night when we were watching Next Level Chef. That's another hobby we have. We like to watch TV together.
Yeah.
So
that counts as a hobby?
I think it does. Because we have
gemstones with you.
Because we have. I do not watch that one. I've watched parts of it though. Because we have certain shows we watch together, or like we'll watch or you and Joe have certain shows like y'all watch Naked and Afraid, and
I got a whole new season that we need to watch. Something.
Yeah, she wants to watch that show Extracted, where the loved ones can extract people.
I need to figure out when the next season of Alone's coming on. And then just pay for the History Channel app or whatever.
For that.
Because it doesn't have, I don't think YouTube TV doesn't have History Channel. But
or
you do love
to watch it. For that for History Channel.
That's true. I do love Alone. That show is freaking awesome.
Alone Australia is a bunch of pansies. Bunch of pansies.
What?
Alone Australia.
They had Alone Australia. They are. Those guys quit right away. And they don't even have snow.
The chick that won was there for like 54 days.
But they don't even have snow or bears that can eat you. Like
that one guy was there for like what?
But they also go to a place where they're like, you can catch these eels all day long, but you're not allowed to eat them.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Like
that was pretty.
Look at all this food that you can't eat because they're sacred.
Yeah.
Well, all they have announced that about season 12 is that there will be a season 12. That's it.
12. Wow.
Bug.
Yes, and it won't go away, and I can't catch it to kill it.
Be faster. Anything else going on? There's some stuff on US Arc, but I don't really feel like getting all that out right
now. No, and I don't know where my phone is downstairs. So
I need to find some guests coming up. This last like 3 weeks, I haven't really thought about it. And then when I knew it was coming back, I was like, well, just do an episode. And
I'll be 100% honest with you. Our life is fixing to be super crazy because our child has play stuff one week. She has Girl Scout stuff the next week. And then she has music stuff the week after that. And then it's the last week of school.
Well, what we need to do when we go to Croc Fest is try and knock out like 3 or 4 interviews.
And as soon as we get in town, we can come straight there.
Knock out several interviews and stretch those out over several weeks.
That's not a bad idea for the summer.
And also Conroe, when we go to Conroe.
Which is the next weekend.
Yeah. Knock out a handful of interviews and set those out over several weeks.
I don't know if I pick up our kid from camp on Friday or Saturday.
I don't know either.
If it's Friday, then I'll be in Conroe on Saturday. If it's Saturday, then I won't be in Conroe on Saturday because I got to pick her up from camp.
I will be in Conroe.
Also in Galveston.
You know, I just watched all 3 seasons of a show that really caught me by surprise that I really, really enjoyed. It was Love on the Spectrum.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched it, but I know that one.
Dude, it's so good. They're just, they're all such pure souls. And they don't have like any agendas, and there's not a mean bone in any of them. And then the one hot chick named Danny, she's just super horny and can't get any dudes to reciprocate, and it's sad and funny at the same time.
Jeff, we probably will hit you up to help out with some episodes here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that first week of June when I'm out.
Darren, I honestly, I haven't talked to Joe in forever. I don't even know what he's up to.
Bitch.
I'd love to have him on. I think Joe.
He's in Austin, isn't he?
Yeah. He was our first guest ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I never did our sponsors
because I wasn't here to begin.
You weren't here, and we got straight into this. So let's do Herps real quick. Everybody shows. Coming up April 26th, April 27th, Belton, Texas. May 3rd, May 4th, West Monroe, Louisiana. May 31st, June 1st, Stillwater, Oklahoma. No, thank you. Denison, Texas is June 7th, June 8th. Conroe, Texas, June 14th, June 15th. I will be at that one. Longview, Texas, June 21st, June 22nd. Sulphur, Louisiana, June 28th, June 29th. And Slidell, Louisiana, July 19th, July 20th. Do you want to try and, without having it in front of you, can you?
Absolutely not.
Check out Lil's Shop of Horrors, LIL''S, Lil's Shop of Horrors for all of your feeder needs. They sell great feeder rodents and feeder insects, high quality food fed to their feeders. So check out Lil's Shop of Horrors and go get you some feeders from them.
I mean, it's like 8:30 at night and my brain has done.
Also, VivTech, that is our giveaway. Don't forget our giveaway this month. You can win a VivTech bulb. I've got 2 here. I've got one for Midday Blaze and I've got one for Jungle Cover. All you gotta do is go over to our Facebook page. I believe I pinned it at the top. If not, I'll make sure I pin it at the top. The post is just post a picture of the cage you would be using the light on or the animal you would like to use the light for. You post that picture, you're put into the giveaway, and we'll draw a winner at the end of the month. You still got another week or so. You can choose between the Midday Blaze if you got, say, Bearded Dragon, or Jungle Cover if you've got, say, Chameleon or something like that. So you can win yourself a VivTech bowl from VivTech Products. Remember to use code GUMBO22 to save 15% on VivTech products. So go check that out.
According to Joe's Facebook, he is a musician now.
Huh.
And everything is music, and it's him playing guitar and singing. I'm going to have to listen to some of this.
Are you wanting to do another one of these, Katie?
I was just flipping through the rest of the book to see what they were.
Do you have a good one?
I'm going to have to go here in a second. Sophie's about to be here, and I haven't had dinner yet.
Ooh, dinner. That's what you're calling it?
Didn't you already eat? Yeah. Tire treads.
Tire treads.
A heat sensor.
It's going to be a snake.
A grappling hook. A fire hose. Night vision goggles. And a breathing tube.
Well, night vision. I'm going to go with rattlesnake, but it doesn't have a rattle there. It's just
python.
Oh, heat sensor. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. But it's just random pies, just python.
Just as python.
That doesn't work here. It's going to have to be like.
It's going to have to be specific. Anyways, it's a fun little book. That's kind of neat.
Anyways, anything else? I'm sorry. I guess I'll eating robin eggs.
No, I think that's it. I might be getting rid of the newts. They're just not doing it for me anymore.
That's true. We may be getting rid of our newts.
I feel kind of bad because I've had them for like 5 years.
Our newts that do nothing but fuck.
6 years. But I would really like that space in my kitchen back. And it's one less thing that I have to worry about. And right now, that would be really nice.
Also, go check out Simply Serpents on Morph Market. I've got all of my boas up there now. There's some sand boas that are coming soon, but all the red tails are on there. Everybody's wanting to get a red tail. Remember, you can get your full assault red tail from me. Fully automatic assault rifle red tail. If you're planning on holding up any sort of gas station, you've got to have a red tail. Ball pythons just don't do it.
Oh my God.
Nothing else. Again, appreciate everybody that reached out to us over the last couple weeks. There's the Chinese alligator. He's staying in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with that. I could actually move him down so he's easier to get to if we took the newts out of the kitchen, and that would be very nice.
Yeah, I gotta feed him. He is,
because I don't like him in that corner. It's hard for me to get to him.
Also, and
not for you, but for me.
I only have to do this because I know we will be posting a GoFundMe for my mom, and I'm probably gonna post it on our Facebook stuff as well, just because it's gonna be a lot. So don't feel like you have to give, but I do know that some people out there might want to, so we're gonna post that.
Fun fact, we do a book it in my classroom. It's like a little trivia game or whatever. I made it last year. And it's what's one of the questions is because it's all about me. And one of the questions is what's the most unique animal, or no, what type of pet does Miss Lewis not own? And one of them is crocodile, because I don't have a crocodile. And it's funny, we played it today.
You also don't own an alligator.
I don't technically. But if one of the kids was indignant, they were like, no, you have that one that lives in your kitchen. And the kid next to her goes, no, that is a Chinese alligator and it is on loan. They don't own it. And I was like, there you go.
See, at least they know
what he said.
They know the legality also. Darren, we don't have a
basement in Texas.
It'd be a great place for an alligator, though.
No.
All right. Thank you all for hanging out. We're gonna cut it short here.
I got a project to go finish.
So when I get my house, maybe Chris will give me a Chinese alligator.
You still have I do still have stuff for stickers, but the problem is I have no place for the stuff for stickers because
now there are 3D printers.
3D printers took up all that space. So
I'm about to have 3 extra bedrooms.
That's 3 extra print rooms, is what you're saying?
Yep.
But I do have that stuff. I can do that too. Anyways, we'll be back next week with somebody, something, somewhere, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you all for hanging out. Robert, I'll talk to you in a second. Goodbye. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Deuces. Dude, they can still see